Hello and welcome back. I'm Simon from That's for Future. And in my last video, I was explaining a little bit what is driving me to reduce my carbon footprint and live as environmentally friendly as possible. Of course, my children. Also, I thought that would be more realistic to expect that people do not want to give up their lifestyle as it is. So the idea is that I would try to maintain as much as possible of my lifestyle at the same time reducing the carbon footprint as much as possible. I don't know if that's working, but let's see. Another thing I was saying in that last video was that panicking is probably the wrong reaction now, because if you panic, you take the wrong decisions, and you should actually always base your decision on facts. So I was trying to find facts, and I was trying to find facts of how much carbon dioxide I produce. I tried to calculate my real production, but that's really hard to do. So I fell back on to the internet, and there are a number of different carbon dioxide uh, calculators. The thing is that they work very much alike. I chose this one now because it's the most detailed one. If the results are 100% accurate, I don't know, but I think they give some type of indication of how much carbon dioxide is, and more or less also what are the most pollutant activities in my life. So that's why I thought I would like to go through this calculator. So let's see, go into calculate and calculate it on an individual base. For the year 2019, because that's what I have complete data for. So let's do this. So then let's have a look. I have previously filled out the whole document, and we just will go through it so we get straight to the facts. I live in Sweden. I said that we're looking at the period between January 19 and December 19, because that's what I have data for, as I said before. The house I'm heating with electricity. I have a heat pump, which is very typical in Sweden, which means that I won't need any natural gas, heating oil, coal, LPG, propane, or any wood material. Um, so the impact here is 140 kilos of carbon dioxide, which is, I think, pretty good. So I still feel quite good. Let's go on to flights. And in 2019, I had one leisure flight for my holiday. We went to the Canary Islands back and forth. Oh, that was 2.4 tons. That's maybe not a good thing. Then I had two work flights, business flights, one to England and the other one to Germany, domestic flight within Europe. Car. I do have a car, but for this purpose I used the average Swedish car, which is a Volvo V70, 2010 years model, um, around 20,000 kilometers, which gives quite a big amount of carbon dioxide, 3.8 metric tons. But okay, if you compare that with the flight, just the flight to the Canary Islands, well, maybe that was not that good. I don't have a motorbike. Bus and rail. Yeah, well, sometimes I do use bus and rail, in particular when I do long distance traveling within Sweden. I think that's more environmentally friendly. So sometimes I then also use the commuter train, but usually I commute to work using the car. And then we have the secondary thing, and that is where we have the food and drink. I think I'm a medium meat eater, meaning I don't I don't require meat, but if there is no, but if there is meat, I will eat it, and that's the amount of money I probably spend per year. A little of pharmaceuticals, clothing. I think it's not a lot. I of course I have a newspaper. I do sometimes buy computers and equipment. I said 400 euros. Average a year, so I don't necessarily buy a new computer every year. So, but well, in average that might work. The same thing for TV sets and so on. They hold for several years. Motor vehicles, I put in 1,200 euros, and this is basically at some time, at some, yeah, well, at it, I will have to replace the car, and then that means that I have to spend that amount of money. Furniture, sometimes a little bit. I was also honestly looking for what would be the Swedish average. So, and I think I pretty much average here. Hotel, restaurant, same thing. Average. The 200 euros refers to my normal phone plan for my mobile phone. Um, the 5,000 euros here is the average mortgage a normal average suite would spend on their housing. You have then insurances, a little bit of education, and here we have a chunk of recreational, cultural, sporting activities. That equals to 6.2 metric tons. Wow. So if we have a look on the results, we will see that we end up with 14.04 metric tons, and this is of course much more than the target, even more than the country average. Um, well, I don't know if this is correct. I have tested other calculators where I came out with 101% of country average and so on. I don't know how we how they collect it. You also have to in mind that this homepage is for a company who actually wants to get money for offsetting carbon dioxide. So maybe that's the reason. But the reason for doing the whole test was that I wanted to have a look on what are the main posts of where I produce most carbon dioxide, and where can I put in my action in a way that they will be most effective. So of course secondary is the biggest post, but that contains of many different activities. So we wait with it a while. Then we have flights and the car. Flights is something, yeah, well, we have 2020 now, and during this year I was not flying at all due to Corona. And actually, I can tell that I'm not missing flying in some way. I also understood that business travel can be very well replaced by video conferences in some cases. Traveling, yeah, of course I would like to travel in future, but yeah, let's see if we can find more environmentally friendly ways. That is probably a video I will do in future. The car, that is the biggest post, single post actually. Here we had several flights. This is the biggest single post. Here we will do something about. So is there a possibility for me to commute? Yes, there is one. Can I use bikes? Might be. I have about 20 kilometers to work every day, back and forth. That's quite a distance. So is that possible to do? Let's have a look. But this is how the things work for us. And in my next videos, I think I will attack each one of them, and we will find ways to, as I said, remain the same quality of life, the same lifestyle, but reducing this to zero, ideally. So let's see if that works out. So see you again in my next videos.